Good morning, beautiful people. I'm dropping in a little bit early today because I have quite a busy day leading into the Easter long weekend. But I'm super excited to share with you a day in the oily life of Jessica. I've had a lot of clients and a lot of people ask me this week about how I incorporate the oils in my days, or there's just been conversations happen around, oh, what do you use this for? How do I use this? Or I've had this going on and I really would love some support in how to use it. So I'm going to share with you pretty much my run through from the start to the end of my day of how I use the oils very consistently. So the biggest thing in the last 4 years of using doTERRA in my life, especially when I started using doTERRA, I was very unwell. I have found that less is more and consistent use is key. Whether that be for my emotions, my physical body, or mainly for my emotions and physical body. So the key with this is to intuitively choose your oils, but also have the education on how to do that. So obviously that's what this space is for, is educational use. But the one thing that I guess over the years have struggled to teach is intuitive use of essential oils, because that's how I taught myself to use them. So a little bit of a background of where I come from and when I started using these oils. So I started using the oils back in 2015. I just moved back from living in London and I was very unwell. I ended up with chronic fatigue, adrenal fatigue, and I was very, very depressed. So when I got gifted these bottles of love, I just started by literally picking up a bottle. I had no idea how to, I'd used oils before, but I had no idea how to use them with where my mindset and where my body was at. Like my soul, my physical body, my energy, everything was depleted to absolutely nothing. So here comes doTERRA. So I started with the top 10 oils and some fractionated coconut oil, and I just started intuitively going to the ones I was drawn to. One that I did not like at the time, which I will share, is Digestin, and did not like it for a year. And it's really interesting if you look deeper into things and actually become really self-aware of your own body. Digestin is all to do with your stomach, so digesting life, and at that time I was not digesting life well. I did not understand what was happening to me and how this had taken place. So intuitively with the oils was the key for me, is I just started tapping into my feminine essence and being drawn and trusting my body, trusting my intuition and learning what my body needed. And it's developed quite significantly over time. So I love intuitively using the oils. I use it all day, every day, and that is actually how I use them during my day. So, and that's how I use them if I'm doing some aromatic dressing. That's how I use them if I'm feeling a certain emotion. I'm like, okay, what am I drawn to? That could be a color, and then I pick a color. That could be a particular oil that comes to mind, and then I smell it and I'm like, yes. Our body knows us so much better than we think our mind does, and our body is always working for us. So trust it is the biggest thing I can say. And the best way that I've learnt to use the oils is through trusting my body and trusting what I'm drawn to. So, our bodies, again, know what they need, and that is how I use them throughout my day. So first thing when I wake up, I get up, I scrape my tongue. So with a tongue scraper, so it's really important for me to be able to have techniques in my life and my day that are supporting detoxification. So I tongue scrape, and then I do a technique called oil pulling. So oil pulling is done with coconut oil, so cooking coconut oil, and I pop a teaspoon on a spoon, and I pop a drop of myrrh, because myrrh is really good for healthy gums. You can also use frankincense or On Guard. You can use pretty much any oil you choose, because it's going to be diluted in the carrier oil, but think oils that are antibacterial, antifungal, because a lot of infection and viruses start in the mouth. So I popped myrrh and I flushed that around my mouth for about 10 to 20 minutes and then I spit that out. Then the next thing I do is I have a lemon water. So I get a big glass of just room temperature water and I pop a little bit of Himalayan salt. So Himalayan salt for me is about getting a little bit of salt back in the body. So after we sleep, our body's quite dehydrated. So the most important thing for me after being through adrenal fatigue is to have my body in the right circadian rhythm. It's about having really consistent routines or bedtimes or rituals that actually support my own radiance and support my own life. So this is many people in the world now with the chaos of day-to-day life. So it's really awesome to be able to tune in with my body and be able to give it what it needs. So a little bit of Himalayan salt in my water. I pop a little bit of apple cider vinegar. My body can be sensitive to it sometimes, so I trust my body if some days it doesn't need it and some days it does. And a drop of lemon essential oil, and I also put some fresh lemon. So that's the first thing that goes into my body after the oil pulling. The reason for that is I don't want to drink water straight away, because any bacteria that's in the mouth, I'm going to flush that back down into my body and my liver has to work that out again. So oil pulling and water. Next thing I have is a bone broth. So for me, also because of what I've been through on my journey, is I'm just very self-aware of what my body needs and what it doesn't, what supports it to thrive and what doesn't. So I make a bone broth. You can get that from any health food shop. I pop like a teaspoon of bone broth, or you can make your own if you've got the space for that and the capacity for that. So bone broth, I put some gelatin and some collagen in that, and I pop some turmeric or some type of beautiful mix. Generally turmeric is good, it's anti-inflammatory and I really like that. Maybe some hemp seeds. And then I pop a drop of turmeric essential oil. I also sometimes put On Guard. That's kind of the little go-to for that. But those two drinks are my first things in the morning. So I'm supporting my gut health straight away before I put any food in it, because food and what we drink is our medicine. So I'm just really aware of what supports me to feel really good and what doesn't. And that's just become an awareness over time where I've just really known what makes me feel good and what doesn't. And a lot of the time when we're rushing around and busy, we can eat something, but we're not actually aware that it's affected us in some way. So it's just become I guess a skill base that I've cultivated personally. And I believe everybody can do this, and we are aware of it in some ways, but a lot of the time we like to ignore it or suppress it, is being really aware of why you're eating certain foods and why you're drinking certain things. I will admit, I actually have a little bit of we all emotional eat in different ways, but I actually emotional eat after dinner mints or mint sliced biscuits. So I know when I start eating those that there's some emotion that I'm not dealing with, because I've done that for a few years, that anytime I'm feeling a certain amount of stress, I go straight to after dinner mints or mint slice. So instead of eating a lot of packets of them, I become aware of what's actually going on in my body, what emotions are arising, and actually deal with the stress that's in front of me. Anyway, that's a little side note. So after the bone broth, I just usually make a delicious breakfast. I love breakfast. It's my favorite meal. So I make whatever is available. I like avo on toast, and I put things like nutritional yeast, good salt and pepper, hemp seeds on a good sourdough bread, or a really beautiful porridge with things like cinnamon and cranberries and nuts and things like that in it. I just love breakfast. So I just love food in general, to be honest. And after I eat breakfast, I get my frankincense and my copaiba or copaiba, and I pop a drop of each of those under my tongue. So the reason for that is because they are really beautiful at supporting on a cellular level, and they're really great at supporting the nervous system as well. So nervous system and cellular support are key. So I pop a drop of those both under the tongue every single day because it supports my body on a really deep level. So if there's anything I can recommend is look up some of the science on copaiba and frankincense and what it actually does for your cells and your nervous system. Because like anything, I'm not here to tell you how to do anything. I'm here to share my experiences, and I encourage you to not necessarily believe everything I say, but I encourage you to do your own research so you can empower yourself to find more solutions and more things that support you. So next step is frankincense and copaiba. And then I also take the Lifelong Vitality Pack. So it's a trio of 3 different supplements that doTERRA have created. They're really clean. So this is the problem with a lot of the supplements on the market now. They've got a lot of synthetics and fillers in them that actually are detrimental to the body, or when you pee, they're yellow because you're just flushing it all out of you straight away. So I like that I can support my gut health and then put some really good nutrients into it, and I find it gives me a lot of energy. Again, really important because of what I've been through with my adrenals. It's a very conscious relationship that I have with not burning out and being really mindful of that. So of a morning too, I usually do a little bit, I may as well throw everything in here. You may as well know about my whole day. So I do some meditation of a morning too. That's usually before breakfast as well. And I always intuitively pick an oil. So an oil that I'm really drawn to at the moment for meditation is sandalwood, which is the oil of sacred devotion. So I love sandalwood. It's just, it's my scent. It's just absolutely divine. So again, when you're going for a meditation, you might go for something like Easy Air. That's another one I like to use for meditation. It is, Easy Air is the respiratory blend, so it's really good for the lungs and anything respiratory. So again, when we're doing meditation, breath is really important. So Easy Air is another one that I use. Frankincense as well is really grounding. But usually balance, like I use a lot of grounding oils to keep me in my body when I'm doing any meditation. And then what I also use is I use some uplifting oils. So that could be the oils like peppermint or wild orange or citrus bliss. It could be lemon, it could be grapefruit, just something uplifting to get my energy levels spiked, to get me going. I don't drink coffee to start the day. I do drink coffee, but I don't actually need it to start my day, because if I use it to start my day, my whole circadian rhythm's out. So I start with this protocol first. And I actually only drink coffee around the time that I'm ovulating, so I don't crave it when I'm premenstrual. I only crave it when I'm in a certain part of my cycle. So again, it's not a need or a necessity for me. And I believe that's because of how I treat and how I look after my body. But I do love the taste. So peppermint and wild orange, 1 drop of each in my hands, rub my hands together and inhale in. So that's what I do before I start work. And that's pretty much my little morning routine. I might have a yoga class in there or something as well, or a walk or a run or a gentle workout. So again, it's how you be adaptable to yourself and what's doable for you. But if you have exercise in there as well, obviously peppermint and wild orange are going to be great for that. At the moment, I'm just going a little bit slower because it's autumn. And yeah, so then depending if I'm in salon or if I'm in my office doing online work, I obviously create a diffuser blend for my day. So again, it's always based on intuition. It's also based on what I feel. What do I feel the clients need today? And I tune into that. So today I'm actually putting Citrus Bloom in because it arrived yesterday. So Citrus Bloom is going to be my one for today, which I'm really excited about. But yesterday was a beautiful blend of patchouli, wild orange and cypress. So every day my blends change intuitively, and I really love that because it means we're trusting our bodies and we're trusting ourselves, and we're learning to trust ourselves as men and women in what we're drawn to and what we need. So then I do that. That's pretty much the next part of my day. Is then I'm working and I'm using oils to support my day. If I'm in the office and I need oils to support If I'm procrastinating or if I'm doing anything on a computer, I'm going to use oils like In Tune or rosemary or lemon, and they really support me when I'm doing all that, because to be honest, I'm not a computer whiz and I really struggle to sit on a computer for a long amount of time. So I need oils to support my brain function when I'm doing that. During that time as well, I also use a little bit of frankincense on the soft palate of my mouth. So up the top, I put a little bit of frankincense there because it gets into the brain, opens up the pituitary gland, the pineal gland, and I just find it really supports my brain function for when I'm on the computer, which is really, really supportive. So salon, yeah, diffuser's going. Clients always say it smells good, and they're always like, what are you using? So that's really great. Before I start work in salon though as well, I have a immune bomb done up, which doubles as an energetic protectant for me. So because I'm in a job where I'm touching people all day, every day on their head, I can absorb a lot of energy. So what's really important for me is that I protect myself. So whether you be into spiritual or energetic practices or not, you know, we all know how someone feels as soon as they walk in a room, or we recognize people's energies before, you know, an instant, if we're aware and if we're in tune enough to recognize it. So what I find really important for me in this is to be able to protect myself from absorbing anything not negative. I don't really like using the words positive and negative in this sense, but absorb anything that's not mine. So absorbing anything, I don't want to absorb anything that isn't mine to carry, but I love being able to hold space for people. I think that's really important. I think that connection and being able to hold space without falling into someone else's pain is really, really vital in this world. And especially, I'm very empathetic. I know the word empath is thrown around a lot, but I'm very sensitive. So I can pick up on people's energy really quickly. So this blend is got On Guard, tea tree, frankincense, lemon, and oregano in it. And I roll that on my whole spine every single day and the soles of my feet before I start work. So not only is that supporting my body physically, it's obviously got a lot of oils that are supportive for the immune system, but it's also supporting me energetically in the salon to create a barrier and a protectant of my body. So I can discern and support my body from absorbing. I can hold space for others' pain, but not absorb it. So it's really beautiful. So that's another thing that I do to start my day. If I get a little bit of a slump during my day, which isn't often, I can use again some uplifting citrus oils of an afternoon. I've been loving green mandarin of an afternoon at the moment, especially if it gets to that point that I'm just feeling a little bit flat around 2 p.m. So using the citrus oils again as part of your day to, instead of having a coffee or something like that a lot of people do, I just smell some more oils. So again, intuitively go to what you're drawn to. And then again, of an afternoon, I'm usually exercising after work or something like that. So I might have a yoga class, I might have netball or touch football or whatever kind of physical activity I've got going on. So again, I use oils to support that. So if I've got a netball or a touch game, I'm going to probably do a pre and post muscle support and body support. So applying deep blue rub and a little bit of frankincense on my larger muscles before, so it actually supports during the game and then again after. Oils for yoga, I use pretty grounding oils depending on the class. If it's a flow class, I might use a little bit more uplifting, but if it's a more grounded class and a yin class, I'll use things like vetiver and myrrh, balance, sandalwood, just grounded oils. It's really about, do you want to feel grounded? Do you want to feel uplifted? Do you want to feel very feminine and flowy? So it all depends on those things. To finish my day after all of that, obviously I eat food amongst all of these things and I add the oils to a lot of different bliss balls and food and everything like that. But to finish my day, obviously I have a shower. I do like to pop a drop of peppermint or easy air in the shower, or even eucalyptus, especially if I'm feeling a little bit eucalyptus is the oil of wellness, so I love using that as like a steamer in the shower. It's really cool. So a drop of that in the base of the shower. I like to make simple things, or what we consider mundane things, really sacred. That's something that I love. So pop a little bit of music on. We're on water restrictions here, so I pop a song on, an oil. I can turn off the lights if I want, pop a couple of candles on, and I make those 3 minutes absolutely sacred. And this is something that I do in a lot of parts of my day, because I feel like sometimes we just get caught in the day-to-day life and routine of things that we forget to feel really blessed to be able to do some of the simple things in our life. So beautiful shower. When I get out of the shower, I aromatically dress. So I grab some fractionated coconut oil. I've got like little dishes, and then I intuitively again pick oils based on what I need and based on what I want to feel. Sometimes I do this of the morning as well, but definitely of a night. And I put another song on, and I lather up my body, and I dance, and I move around, and I apply and connect to my body in that way. I think, again, we've had so much of our day that we're serving other people, whether that's children or clients or family, whatever it may be, that, you know, those couple of minutes are for me, which is really beautiful. I then have a hormone support protocol. So this is something that I find vital, because with all the stresses and the fight or flight response and all the things that happen in our day, and just being on technology and the chaos and the busyness of life, supporting my hormones is vital. So I use the blend called Clary Calm, and I roll that across my womb. I roll that across from hip to hip. I actually sometimes do the shape of a heart. I know that sounds silly, but it's just like, actually it doesn't sound silly, but it's like I do the shape of a heart because I feel like it's just giving a bit of love to my hormone system. And if you look at an image of how, I can't do it with my hands, but how our hormonal structure looks as a woman, it's just like, I just want to give it love. It just needs, you know, a little bit of love and attention. So, and for me to be able to connect into that. So, and to connect to my like womanhood and my femininity and an aspect of me that's super creative and powerful. So I pop that on, I can rub that in, and I can like take a few deep breaths and just connect to my womb, connect to that part of my body. I also have hormone blends that I've created. One blend for 2 weeks, like if we're looking at a 28-day cycle, one blend for 2 weeks when I'm bleeding, when I'm premenstrual and bleeding, and then the other blend for when I'm ovulating and after when I'm bleeding. So 2 weeks for each one. I also like to layer jasmine over the top. Jasmine's just another, again, beautiful floral essence that I like to lay over, and the emotional and energetic properties, it's the oil of sexual harmony, purity and harmony. So I feel like so much gets in our creative center and in our womb as women every day if we're not really discerning and protecting our energy and being able to, I guess, cultivate a really powerful creation within us. That it's really important for me to be able to clear that out. So that's my little hormonal protocol that I do every day. I usually do that, wouldn't be probably as extensive of a morning, but I definitely do that overnight. If I'm feeling really exhausted, which can happen some days depending on what I'm doing, I pretty much lather my whole body in deep blue. Deep blue is the absolute bee's knees when your body is aching or fatigued, and I usually add like copaiba or frankincense with it because it's going to have that extra cellular support, and frankincense is also known as an enhancer oil, so I add that to my deep blue. And then I apply some aroma touch to my adrenal kidney area, so like lower back. The reason I apply aroma touch there is because of my past history with adrenal fatigue. Aroma touch has basil in it, and basil is really supportive for the adrenals. So I pop that on, and then of course sleep. Sleep is super vital. Again, because of my history with fatigue, it's really important for me to support my sleep pattern. So at the moment, I will share with what I'm using at the moment. So at the moment, I'm doing a blend of lavender peace and vetiver and peace. or lavender, vetiver, and peace in the diffuser. And I make sure I pop that on a while before I go to bed, which is, I just find it's just the best blend for me at the moment. Again, it's all intuitively. This changes all the time. Sometimes I need easier to sleep. Other times I just want lavender or lavender and frank. And sometimes it's bergamot and frankincense and lavender. Like, it's always different depending on where I'm at. Sometimes I like juniper berry because I'm having some pretty hectic dreams, which juniper berry is really beautiful for supporting nightmares or dreams that are really heavy. So obviously our dream state is when our subconscious is bringing up a lot of things. So I remember a lot of my dreams, and I always have, and they're pretty powerful at my subconscious telling me and giving me certain messages. So I like to be able to drop into a pretty deep sleep. I also apply vetiver to the soles of my feet and the back of my neck. Vetiver is just like, it's like the knockout blend for me. It's just, I love it. It's just amazing. And then I apply peace to my spine, and I put lavender on my temples. So again, this changes all the time. That's just what I've been doing at the moment. And I'm just finding it's really quite potent for me, and I'm sleeping really, really well, which is really great, because obviously if you sleep well, then I'm going to wake up refreshed. And then that whole routine that I've just spoken about is quite simple to maintain and master, because I'm looking after myself and my body. So I'm not getting in these dips all day, because I'm sleeping well, I'm starting my day right, and then I'm giving myself natural energy boosts. You know, my serotonin levels are going to be up because of the foods I choose to eat. And look, I think what's really important when it comes to whether that's what you're eating, what you're drinking, how you're moving your body, and what oils you're using is, again, I've said it a lot on this call, but trust your body, but also be aware of why you do things. Like, have an intention behind it. Like, I also burnt out years ago because I was just constantly flogging my body, and my body just was just like, can you please stop? Can you please stop treating me like this? I'm just here to support you and nourish you. So I used to I used to train 2 hours a day for so many things, and I still didn't feel good enough. And I did that for years when I had my business. Well, I still have my business, but my first few years of business, and my self-worth was low, and I didn't feel enough, and there were so many aspects of my life that I just wanted to be better and flog myself. So I flogged my body doing all sorts of physical activity that would just burn it out. And now I just listen to my body, and I've developed such an incredible relationship with it, which has just changed the way I do anything. And I don't believe you can tell anyone how to eat, or anyone what they should eat. And I don't believe you should tell anyone how they should move their body. You can give guidance and education on certain things, but we always know. Like, we always know what we need. And I think that's the most powerful gift that we can give one another. And this video for me isn't about, copy my day. This is about you being really aware and developing a really sacred relationship with you. Like, this physical body of like meat and bones is here to support us to thrive if we give it the right fuel. And I work with the seasons a lot. I haven't had a winter in 2 years because I was in Canada last winter here, so I was over there for summer. So my body's really slowing down this autumn, and it's going to slow down over the winter as well. I can feel it, because I haven't had that time to really restore and relax my body. So working with the seasons is something that I'm really passionate about as well. So that's something you could do. I think that's all. One tip. I really love sandalwood in my hair. So if I'm going to blow dry my hair, give it a good wash, give it a good treatment. I pop a drop of sandalwood in my hand and rub it through the ends. I just love sandalwood as a hair treatment as well. That one's a fun one. And skin. I didn't share skin. So skin, I use all organic and clean makeup, and I use all my products that I use on my skin are the same. It changes all the time, but I use Cellubel of an evening, forehead and sides of your eyes. I have a very expressive face, so like I've got lines. I really do, but it's because I'm very expressive, especially when I smile, and I'm just like I've got lines because I'm just very expressive with my facial expressions. And so frankincense is really good for my skin, so I pop some of that into my moisturizer, and then I apply Cellubel on here. And one that I've been loving at the moment is I add blue tansy to my jojoba oil, because jojoba is one of the oils that has the same, I've got to get this right, it's probably not going to be right, but the same structure or the same, I can't think of the word, but it matches in with the skin the best. That's the best way I can put it. So jojoba oil, and I add some blue tansy, and then I've been using another oil called yarrow pom as well on top. So I'm finding that's really awesome for my skin. I think that's a pretty good overview, I reckon. But main thing is, yeah, really tune in and start connecting to your body and developing relationships with the oils that you have. So, you know, and when you anoint them and when you pop them on your body, really thanking them and having gratitude, and when you touch your body or you're applying it, really connect to your body. I think that's the biggest thing that I've done and cultivated over the last 4 years, is a deeper connection to how my body feels, how it wants to feel, what it's trying to provide me, what it wants, what it needs, and whether that be rest or whether that be movement or whether that be like better food or whether that be less food or more water, like whatever it is, I just really trust, and because it's always telling us what we need, always telling us what we need. So that's pretty much a good little overview and breakdown of my day. So if you're jumping on now, I would support you to, yeah, go back to the start of this and have a look once it's up in a little bit. But that is the day in the oily life of Jessica. If I've missed anything, I can pop it below, but I hope that has supported you greatly, and I hope you all have a beautiful Easter with loved ones, and stay safe and travel safe as well, and I'll see you in here soon. Mwah! See ya!